Pound Sterling, the hustler, and the champ, Sonny Edwards. What you saying? I feel like you said it to me the other day, and there's no other podcast or nothing like this where it's a reigning champion kicking the game.
Like, no, I mean, no one that I know of right now. But there's a lot of things that I'm doing that a lot of other fighters aren't doing, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people just take it to the boxing ring and it sort of starts and ends there. But I don't know. I've always been trying to diversify, open up my knowledge, my reach in the training, the managing, the promoting, like really getting inside these conversations and figuring out.
Let it be known.
Just figuring out how things work and why they work and why I'm talking to this person. Like, obviously, I was a boxer fresh in, and why was I speaking to these people, the first people I was speaking to? Trying to like flip the lens and then use that position to sort of influence, I don't know, my career and the people around me career. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You've always been more than a boxer. But yeah, this is going to be a weekly thing, right? Myself, champ, weekly. We're going to be giving it all the updates on and our opinions and thoughts on boxing and MMA on a weekly, covering whatever topics are going on. Sometimes you might get, what's the things you were telling me about? Might get a couple watch-alongs and all of that kind of shit.
I'll play a couple watch-alongs. Like we can put the fights on. When we're not doing nothing, we're chilled off at home. We can sit there. They can watch along. Watch us. Mute the commentary. How many times have you heard? Oh, I've muted the commentary.
Yeah, the commentary is mad biased at times. Still not going to lie.
I've muted the commentary. For this reason, that reason. Now, I'm not going to make no comment on that. But what I'm going to do is offer an alternative. You're going to have me a pound.
From a real boxing aficionado and someone like myself, so just passionate about sport, passionate about boxing, passionate about MMA. So yeah, pounds and punches. So all right, listen. AJ just had a fight announcement. He's fighting. What's the better name? Is it Franklin he's fighting?
Franklin. That's who White fought, right?
Wonderful Dillian White. Yeah. We know about him. And what are you saying on that?
Well, I didn't. The most I've seen about Franklin, apart from the fight, was when Dillian White and Franklin's team were arguing for about 20 minutes about what gloves were getting used. So I didn't see all too much with him before. Like he hadn't really been on my radar, but he performed well. I mean, maybe White overlooked him a little bit. Maybe he thought, bigger fights. Maybe sort of, but he did come through White. I know there was some people disagreeing with the decision. I'm not sure. I think it was very back and forth. It was very back and forth. Obviously Dillian got the win. But then now he's got the opportunity of a lifetime, really. The probably still the premier fight that, outside of achieving the legacy and dream of winning a world title, AJ is the money fight right now. He's probably still
the money fight, man. It's still big AJ. But what? He's technically there though as a warm-up fight, as a tune-up for AJ. Let's be real with it. They're trying to give AJ like a tune-up fight.
But also a comeback. At the same time.
Yeah, so AJ's meant to punch him over then, basically. That's what he's there for, like.
Yeah, but I feel like what they've done is, if you just give AJ now someone with no ambition, no profile, no matter what happens, it kind of is, it's just bad for him. So Jermaine Franklin just had a good performance against Dillian White. He didn't win. In some people's eyes, I've seen it, like, they did say that they thought he won. Like I said, I don't know if I fully agree with that or not, but he's shown that he can fight. He showed at moments that he had good hands, he had good movement, he had a good understanding of being in the ring. They came over with a lot of ambition and confidence that showed in the ring. And I don't think that's bad matchmaking for AJ, who just come off a loss to Usyk, spent a whole year and more preparing and just thinking about one man. Someone he's seen now as well, be in the ring with someone that he's been in the ring with, which is another level of understanding of the opponent. So yeah, I think it's good matchmaking. I think the viewers have also seen Franklin, like I've just said, so it makes for a more marketable fight. I think it ticks all the boxes. I'm not unhappy with it.
No, I'm not mad at it. I don't think he should go back in with like a one of the big names straight away, Wilder or one of these names. It makes sense to me to kind of have a fight to bring him back into the fold a bit neatly. Let him get. Not saying let him get his confidence up a piece as well. Give him something that on paper he should win that fight, and then obviously it's more marketing money as well because AJ beats him. Say AJ beats him now, then you can go on to sell AJ's back, and Eddie Hearn will do what he does.
Yeah, but that's boxing. Do you know what I mean? If you're only ever as good as your last performance.
Facts.
He's only really lost to Usyk, who is a great
Elite.
fighter, and I won't hear nothing short of that. One of the best amateurs and professionals at multiple weights that our generation has had. Simply put, I don't think there's as many up there. There is that many up there with as much credibility and the sort of stake to that claim. Genuinely, I think he's that good.
Yeah, he's pound for pound. He's up there pound for pound all day long.
Yeah,
All day long.
seriously, and how he done it all easy at cruiserweight and has kind of come to heavyweight and realistically done it quite easy. Like we've not seen him down, we've not seen him really have to come back from a battering in the first half of the fight. We've not had to see him sort of fluke out a lucky punch and get a knockout. Every single fight, he seems in control pretty much from the first to last bell, and it usually seems like, okay, when's he going to start turning up the tempo? And I think Usyk's the man to beat. I know that like Tyson Fury is obviously much bigger and has achieved in his own right, but for me right now, like I have not seen any moments of vulnerability in Usyk. Really, like I put all his how long I've seen him box, I've not seen any vulnerability in him. And I genuinely think no matter the size, I think that can be used as an advantage in its own right. If you're smaller, you're more efficient. You can get around the target that bit easier. You haven't got to use as much energy just moving, just walking around. Like
You're trying to say, are you saying that Usyk can beat Fury, champ?
I'm not necessarily saying that because Fury is like a very good fighter.
I think the size,
right.
the size will play a big part in it. In that
It definitely will, but at the same time,
if you were to say just pound for pound and skill sets and all of that matching up, then I could say Usyk. But when you put in the variables of my man being of Fury being a giant and a great boxer as well,
yeah, but like of course that, but at the same time, in 36 minutes, two fighters that have never shared a ring. Sometimes it's just about who uses what they do that little bit better. Like, and at this level, it hasn't got to be by much because Fury will not be able to do the same things that made him so successful against Wilder. In my opinion, that'll get completely taken out of the fight. Once he realized that he can go feint, punch.
What are the things that made him so successful against Wilder?
Well, in my opinion, there was a change, and I think it was probably in the introduction. It was either very late in the first round, or it was with the introduction of Sugar Hill, and in the second fight, he came out from the first bell in the second fight very confidently, going forward.
You're talking about from the last round of the first fight? You mean when he was back?
But it was he either realized what was going on very near the end of the fight. Maybe he didn't have enough in the tank. Maybe he didn't. He just couldn't make it work, or after the final bell, before the first bell in the next fight, he realized that when he feinted big, he showed a big like action, like he was about to do something, and then moved his feet forward, and then started throwing. Wilder was typically moving back and not throwing anything. It weren't Wilder feet planted, big right hand coming through. As soon as he saw the feint, he started moving backwards. Tyson realized that he didn't even have to go in boxing stance because most of the time he was moving backwards. He wasn't even trying to punch. So then he was getting to the target over and over again using one simple trick, feint and get in. And I was sitting there watching thinking Wilder never changed anything to make a simple feint and a get in range. Do it. Like not work. Every time it was over and over again. He was trying to make space to let a big clean right hand go. But because Fury was always keeping up with him, he weren't ever making enough space where he felt safe enough to let the right hand go. So when he was kind of just swinging over and over and using energy where he didn't really need to be using it. But against Usyk, for example, that feint and walk forward, which got him so much success in the Wilder fight, that feint and walk forward after the second or third time will probably get him caught. A backhand straight through the middle or to the body, and then a little slip around the outside, and then move on back in the center of the ring. He won't be able to just try and walk down Usyk. He will have to be a lot craftier. If he's going to do that tactic, he'll have to use his limbs. He'll have to tie him up when he's escaping around him. He'll have to be rougher. He'll have to be... Like, there's a lot more that will come into it rather than just, for me, what happened. Like, go back and watch it. Them fights.
Well, I agree with you. But I just think, see with Fury, I just think he's... See, like how you're smart with boxing. I feel like certain men just know boxing, innit? So I think he he wouldn't fight the same fight against Usyk. I think he'd have a different kind.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Oh, hold on, there we go. The focus went. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Fury hasn't got it in him to keep changing. He simply realized in that fight, which a lot of people are rating him for, like at the end of the day, we live in a world where certain promoters, I don't want to name call no one in the first episode.
Name call. Now we'll get to them for the episode 2 and 3. Go on.
Certain promoters will call in Tyson Fury the most boring heavyweight ever, and he would never watch another one of his fights twice. Like that was pre-Wilder area. That was after
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that was what, and no one was really disagreeing with him massively. People knew he was talented, but they weren't disagreeing with him. But then he fought the same person 3 times.
Yeah,
he looked very, very good. Wilder's a very good fighter, dangerous fighter. Showed that throughout the fights. But the things that made him really successful in that matchup, like specifically for me, the turning point was once he realized the feint get in, he could do what he wanted with Wilder because he'd already hit him 2 or 3 times before Wilder had thought about planting his feet. He was thinking about defense, that he was panicking. He weren't composed inside. But that won't work with Usyk. So then it's straight back to, okay, then well, that'll probably be a stalemate. It probably won't be the spectacle. Because I doubt Fury will just walk in first 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Yeah. Got hit, and hold on, this is different, and keep trying to do the same thing. Of course he won't. Fury's much better than that. But that's when it blows everything open. And it's like, well, Fury now can't use his size as easily because it was how easy it was to get there. Usyk's like, he's going to have to pick his moments, come in at the same time as Usyk. But that gives vulnerabilities, especially when you're, 6'9", and your opponent's, 6'3", 6'4". So because of that, there's a lot smaller of a target. There's less areas got hit. There's more coverage. Like, then there's so many variables. For me, it's the fight in boxing. Like, because
that's the fact. All right,
that's why we put straight off into the spin-off.
That's a big fight. But we'll come back to that because it's not been announced officially. So we'll come back to that another time. Who's with? So what are we saying? AJ's beating Franklin, yeah?
I think so. I think so. But you never know what a defeat takes out of someone. I have not physically seen him.
Who out of AJ?
You just don't know. Like, you don't know what a fight. And obviously, he did have, a rant after his last fight, which I can understand. When that happened,
I understood that. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That. Do you know what it is? Yeah, Pounds. You probably understand where AJ's come from in his life to get to where he's got to now, right? Some of the whatever. He's got to a point where he's become the Olympic golden boy. Facts. Now he's the media darling, where he's got a whole team, an entourage, a business, a whole industry pretty much in his hands. A lot to balance, a lot to work on. Like, I bet sometimes he just wishes he could just let go and be a savage. But it's like his boxing style is mirroring what's going on outside of the ring as well. It's like
there's no release.
Doing like
there's no release.
Really, I would love to see AJ. I'll be wrong, and this is that. I would rather see AJ come out first 3-4 round demolition job. I'm talking Chisora-esque. Scrap it, because I know that when he's not. Because what happens is he's getting caught in trying to move his feet, plant, defend, tuck up, switch. Like, he's getting caught up in the technical side, which unfortunately for me, like, I'm not saying he hasn't got certain fundamental sound. He has, of course he has. He's an Olympic gold medalist. But because he found boxing so late, he's not like me. He weren't moving, thinking, sparring, running, training, eating, living like a boxer from 9 years old like I was.
Yeah.
So how is he going to have the same brain to body connectivity for certain because when I was a kid and your brain's more like able to soak up things easier as well, like I was just absorbing everything. I was going to all the shows. I remember AJ saw me coming up in the amateur. I'm sure he watched me box when I was very, very young at the Earlsfield Centre. So like, and that's when he was just, like a novice London. So he sometimes needs to go back to the animal. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say about disregarding.
You see, spiteful AJ, early AJ, spiteful. When he was he had that streak where he thumping man over. He even used to get warnings for thumping man.
First three rounds used to be long.
Yeah.
Now, because of certain fights, I'm not saying for sometimes it's not the way to go. Like genuinely, I think though, for him, for his capabilities, for his like, do you know? Say when you come into this world, yeah, there's like a door and you get to pick a body. You know, like a genetic, like my man won the genetic lottery. You know what I mean? Physically, attribute wise, he's like a modern day Hercules. Like, and he could probably not train that much and still stay in great shape. Physically, he is a powerhouse. He's a threat, but he's letting his mind take away his physicality. Like, you never saw a Mike Tyson lose his physicality. He was trying to savage a man every second he was in the ring with him, sparring or otherwise. If they was there for sparring, they were getting paid for this to happen to them. But I've seen him spar and I've seen him fight, and he works a lot on technicals, which has a lot of benefits. But
don't lose the animal.
Now, at this point in his career now, he needs to put the fear back in.
Yeah.
Because now, people are getting in there thinking, well, if I can ride with him he's dangerous, but if I can ride with him for 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds, then he slows down a bit because he's so big, he's so strong, he's so much power to run all of his like, and because he boxes economically and he gets to like round like 9, 10, and then physically his body just starts giving away. Well, forget the 12 rounds then. If that's happened more than one occasion, forget the 12 rounds.
Yeah.
They use Olympic gold medalists, make every single round a 3-round fight. Whether you're winning or losing, shit.
Just go out there to destroy those. Just destroy.
And destroy.
Yeah, word.
I know, but we might see it though, because that moment of maybe vulnerability, that moment of like emotional pressure building to a break in the ring against Usyk after the fight, the belt was getting dropped. That was symbolic for me. Like he weren't probably thinking fully straight. He just had a hard 12-round fight. The person that he's been obsessed with for the last however long, he's then lost in the rematch lost his belts, and they're gone now. Like that was probably all that pressure of built up. Just
I understand. Now that outburst was kind of self-explanatory if you've got any sense to understand what a man's gone through, what a man's dealing with, what he's carrying on his shoulders. And I've always said, like, he kind of reached, like you said, he started boxing late. There has to be a scene there compared to these guys that have lived, breathed boxing from a lot earlier time, had all these fights.
He probably, as a person, he probably weren't as ready for all the over popularity of AJ, because there was that time when AJ was considered in every conversation the man. There wasn't no Tyson Fury in the conversation at this point. Like AJ was the guy.
There was amongst certain man that knew the thing, though.
There was them ones that said Tyson Fury, but even then, at that point, you're very forgiven to be back in AJ. I think, like,
yeah.
Then it come up like obviously the clips go up, and then he went away, so he weren't even in the conversation for a period of time. Then came back, and then it seemed like a bit of an impossible task to even just get back in.
No, it was AJ. It was AJ Mania. It was AJ Mania.
But what I think happens in a human's emotional, like top to bottom life journey is sometimes they need to. It might not be rock bottom to everyone else. Like it might not be as similar to rock bottom to someone else, but every human has got that same range of emotion. As long as a boxer, things can be going too good for too long, that there's something in you that just like dwindles a bit, or your eye gets taken off of what is, and then whenever what you've got mixed up with your range of emotions goes, and you're just left there, and now you're seeing the negative, and you know, maybe not for AJ this in particular, but the phone calls from the manager or promoters aren't coming, whatever, people have lost interest, people aren't talking, people think you're retired. In that moment there, someone that's had it and now hasn't got it, there's two things that can happen. It can ruin someone, or it can really, really find the spark that was needed. Because sometimes it was going too well for too long. AJ's problem is hard because he's still got all that outside influence. I know for a fact that AJ, in his mind, wants to get in there right now and have a fight. I can see it. I can see it in his style. I can see it in his performances. Even shouting now, like, look, I'm trying to do what you're not telling me. I'm too big. My body don't work like his. I'm tired at the 9th round, and he's still going bop, 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 bop. It's close, and it was close. It was close the first 10 rounds, first 9 rounds. It was facts. But when you're 6'3", a lot lighter, career boxer. Usyk was probably doing Ukrainian dance from 2 years old,
from day,
and then was probably doing boxing from like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Same as Lomachenko, had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fights to win his medals in the amateurs, where AJ had like 30, 40, 50.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right, Chad, watch this. What are you saying on? You see, Mikey. You know what's his name? What's Mikey Garcia's brother's name again? The coach. What's his first name again?
Robert
Garcia. That's it. He was coaching AJ. In it. You seen that he said that AJ don't want to do the runs and put the work in. Have you seen that interview?
I've not. But
Basically,
shout out to Robert Garcia. He also trains Bam Rodriguez. Someone who's on my target hit list, on my crosshair.
Yeah. Bam's gonna get it.
So, but very good fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. But
yeah, he said
Robert Garcia. I've not seen that, but
I saw the interview. He just said basically like he was calling AJ to say, "Come, let's get this working," and AJ said, "No, not today," kind of thing. And he's saying,
"Yeah, we don't know the full story. That might have been on the way out." I've known AJ a long time.
What's the work rate saying? Because the thing
He's always been on it.
What I'm asking you is, AJ's been rich for a long time, dog.
What do they say? It's hard to get up early and go right.
That's what I'm asking you. It's hard. Like it's hard to get it done. Like when you know you're already rich as fuck. The hunger's not gonna be the same in my. I don't see how the hunger can still be the same, unless your name's Mayweather.
It depends what you're in boxing for. See how you just disclaimed it. Unless you're Mayweather. Once Mayweather got to the top, what was the first thing he wanted to really shout? That he was the greatest. That he was the best. That he was the best ever. That was his desire. Like, and for me, I can understand it. I'm in the mindset where I think it's not just about money. The money can be numbers, but I'm never going to lose the opportunity to prove my greatness on a massive profile platform, on a show. Everyone there watching, all the cameras there. I'm not losing that on the negotiation table. So it's not about the money. I want to give myself the opportunity. I know there's certain fighters on that same mindset. You can see them fighters. Mayweather, when he was coming up, would fight anyone, was calling out anyone, was jumping at anyone, being the B-side, like he so famously coined. But certain fighters, if you're fighting to be famous, which there is, honestly, you might be surprised at some.
Like that. But I don't think the joke is I don't think AJ falls into that category because AJ really has fought some serious brothers, you know, and he's never He's fought the realest of the real, bro. His hit list, people might try and downplay his hit list, but them man that he's beat, everyone will go like they're shit now, but they're not shit, bro. Like them Joseph Parkers, them Pulevs, Povetkin, these are serious guys, bro. Klitschko, I don't give a shit. 49.
But the thing is, people are always going to pick apart resumes, and then they're going to use their fights after they've been beat by that person, different versions of them.
Yeah.
That's boxing, unfortunately. But that's what them conversations keep boxing alive. But I don't know. I don't think you can you can say about timing for a few fights for AJ, but he's fought some good fighters. He's fought Usyk now as well. Like
Usyk,
he's shown that he's in for it's whatever. And if I'll be real, I feel like AJ has probably been quite. I think that they've made AJ to seem harder work to make the fights than he is. I don't know. When I watch all
that's Eddie Hearn. I don't think it's AJ, bro.
Yeah, maybe Eddie Hearn, but then there's loads of things going on because there'll be someone else saying, well, we've offered AJ 50 million, he's not accepted it. But it's like, okay, you've offered someone that just earned 80 million, 50 million, like that, for example. Where if you come over to us, we're probably all making more money than that. Like they don't always show the full picture, but that is boxing. Like when you're watching it from a spectator's perspective, you get about 10%. Then there's like a large percentage that is just all smoke and mirrors anyway. There's just loads of rumors, something's added, and then now that means that. So now that story is getting told all around and it spreads like wildfire. Like in boxing, there's probably about 20% the truth, 70% just smoke and mirrors. And then there's that 10% that actually comes out to the forefront. And then everything else is just promoters, boxers, managers putting a media spin on it like politicians. That is what happened.
Yeah. Facts.
That is what happened.
I agree with you. All right, moving on from that. Yeah, moving on. Right, now, before I move on, who's the top 5 heavyweights, Sonny?
We're going straight in the top 5 heavyweights right now.
No, I'll allow you today and say no particular order. On
I
another day,
reckon I can give an order.
All right, go ahead then.
I'll say number 1, Tyson Fury.
Mm.
I would say number 2, very close, could be interchangeable. Number 2, Usyk.
Mm.
Number 3, where it gets techie, I think that's where the arguments really start. It's hard to put AJ after a loss, but he only lost to Usyk after being world champion. Wilder's only lost to Fury.
Mm.
So what do you do there straight away? Like,
so dead man are 3 or 4 interchangeable.
Very interchangeable, and even then, it's like, well, what about Joe Joyce?
I was gonna say,
Joe Joyce up there if anyone gave him the chance. Like they've not fought each other. A couple have fought each other now. A couple haven't. No one's fought Joe Joyce outside of Daniel Dubois, which was a top prospect at the time, like of that somewhat similar level. Joseph Parker, Stavern, but maybe a past it Stavern. Who's the American? Jennings. And he's got a good record. Like Joyce has been matched well, and he's passed some tests straight away. And how far does that go? How far does being unbeaten, beating everyone that's in front of you, and no one wanting to fight you, seemingly?
I'd put him number 5. He's who I'd have number 5. I'd put him number 5.
You put him number 5, yeah?
Yeah, I would. I was waiting to see if you said it. That was the main reason I asked you.
So live in a world now where Joe Joyce gets frozen out, and Fury, Wilder, AJ all fight each other over and over again for the next few years. What? So Joe Joyce can never be number 3?
They're gonna fight at some stage. I don't know. They should fight Dillian or something. Joyce and Dillian should fight.
Yeah, but I honestly think Joe Joyce is going to be the most avoided heavyweight out there.
It goes like that, though. It goes like that.
No, but I don't think there's going to be another one like him.
Well, you don't think he's going to get his fight at some point?
Nah. He's going to have to get it a mandatory way. Like he's going to. Yeah,
he'll have to do it the hard way, but he'll get it. He'll have to do it the hard way.
At heavyweights, people be giving up belts and retiring and I don't know. I genuinely think out of all the tops, given they probably all sparred him. I'm not even saying that. I think AJ would probably be the most likely to give Joyce a fight because he sparred him so much. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's done long rounds with him a lot. But still, I don't think like one thing with Joe Joyce, you're having a hard fight. It doesn't matter if it comes in the first round. Before it got up there, it was.
That's how I used to think people felt about Dillian. I think people used to avoid Dillian because you're gonna get a hard night's work, even if you won. Now Joyce to me is better than Dillian, and he's in a. He ain't got
silver medalist. People tend to forget.
No, I can't forget that.
I know, but like sometimes people think, oh, Joe Joyce, they look at his style, and they can't see the awkwardness of his style. They can't see past that. I honestly, if there's anyone that has seen it, I have been singing the praises of Joe Joyce for years. I've seen him boxing since he first walked into a boxing gym.
You think Pete? Hold on, because Pete Dillian was kind of good. Do you think Pete Dillian could beat Pete Joe Joyce when Dillian was at his peak?
Nah, and that's not a disrespect. I think the problem with Joe Joyce is he has one mission in the ring to get to the target and start throwing, but he doesn't just do it blindly. He gets right to the edge of range, like plays with the idea for a split second, and then just goes with a clubbing shot. And at heavyweight, 12 rounds, 36 minutes in a proper fight where no one's actually like people have hit him clean. Joseph Parker hit him clean. Stavern hit him clean. Jennings hit him clean. Okay, maybe a Wilder's not hit him clean.
Your chin's mad.
Maybe an AJ's not him clean. So yes, there is maybe some still questions, but like, say if he fought a Wilder, doesn't get knocked out, then wow, it is like his chin, his work rate, the fact that he doesn't seem to feel punches. You know how disheartening that is to fight. If someone goes in there with 95% of heart, it's getting broken by Joe Joyce. You need that.
I hear that. I hear you fully because I've seen it. I see He was fighting one guy. I can't remember who it was, and the guy was hitting him up. Still, it weren't particularly a big name. You might even have been doing punditry that day. I can't remember, but the guy was landing.
Yeah, but you're gonna land. Like,
nothing was going on. But that's what I'm saying. I've seen Joe Joyce's chin, but ain't never point where that chin suddenly just, you chip away, you chip, and one day it's just because he's dead. He gets hit.
Well, I don't know if it was a rumor started by shout out Dev Sani, the main media guy at Queensview Promotions, but I've heard that Joyce has a bone density far thicker than the average human being, and I'll be real, I'm not inclined to disagree with that. I'm not inclined to argue that fact. I would believe that without seeing a doctor's note, because I've seen him take shots from when he was an amateur first come in the gym. Like, I was there the day he first came to the squad session at Earlsville Boxing Club.
Okay. Well, listen, I just listen to your expertise. I'm just a fan, and I listen to what I listen to.
Take a shot. Like, I've never seen anyone lay him out. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, so
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Happen.
And he hits hard. I see one thing. Teddy Atlas said that Joe Joyce reminds him of George Foreman.
Literally, I've said the same. I've said that exact same, and Atlas knows his boxing. So shout out to Teddy Atlas, but I've said that exact same thing. He's like a modern day, bigger version of George Foreman. And he probably has more awkwardness and movement, maybe even more of an engine. Like, he just goes and goes and goes. He's like, he doesn't get tired. Yeah. You ever seen that Mike Tyson versus Homer Simpson?
No.
When Mike Tyson's just punching him up and then he gets tired and falls over.
I might have seen a piece of it. Yeah.
That's what happens. It's like people get tired trying to hurt him. The best way to beat Joe Joyce for me is a fury approach. Hit and move, box 12 rounds, see you later. And that I can see. I can see someone doing that to him. If someone goes in there with the intention, I'm going to meet him there and break him down, I think they're losing every time.
Yeah. I think Usyk beats him. I think Fury beats
him. Usyk beat him. People don't know.
I know. I saw the fight.
I'm sure it was in York Hall. Usyk boxed Joe Joyce in the WSB 5 rounds.
That's it, WSB. I couldn't remember.
And this is when Usyk was really a cruiserweight as an amateur. Remember, he won a world title after winning Olympic success and after doing WSB success. But he did that heavyweight because there was no cruiserweight. He went in there and became the number one at heavyweight, at cruiserweight as an amateur.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, so him moving up, to me, him moving up and being AJ wasn't the biggest of surprises. In an amateurs, he was jumping up from cruiser to heavyweight and busting everyone up over 5 rounds. Okay, it's not the same, but he looked like he could do that for 15 rounds, let alone 12.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. That's the lens I've got of him from remembering him beating Joe Joyce at York.
No, he's that good. He's that good. I saw that. I've watched that fight. I watched it way before he turned heavyweight.
Yeah.
I'm always watching these bits and pieces. I watched it still, but
that's the lens. And fighting's still fighting. Like, fighting's still fighting.
Thanks. All right. Moving on from there, champ. It's UFC this weekend.
UFC.
Let's talk
Not my area of expertise.
No. But by the time we're doing this every week, so it's going to become an area of your expertise. You're going to get some fighters that you're a fan of as well. You're going to become.
You're learning with me. I've got a few.
Who you're a fan of?
Mark Diakisi, he's my guy.
Okay.
Mark Diakisi, so he's in UFC. Then there's Kane Musa from Bellator.
Yeah. Shout out Kane.
That's
Bellator, but yeah, go on.
You know what's mad, yeah? This is gonna sound mad, and I'm not even gonna try and be that guy, yeah? I've been like low-key fans, because I do because with the media pages, I have to half keep up with certain storylines. So way before Khabib was Khabib and was the man, when I'm talking he's like 15-0 and just submitting a man and no one's got close to fighting him, I was on this. I was like, yo, he looks cold. Time ago. And then I followed him and then he became Khabib. And another one that I really liked and then he became the guy was Israel Adesanya. So like I don't have much expertise, but like I caught on a little bit earlier than like everyone I would say on them. But even then I didn't watch the whole storyline. That's where I'm at with it. There's a couple of names, a couple of fighters. Nathaniel Wood as well. Used to train down in the gyms in Sutton. Sometimes see him there. He's a friend of my brother's as well. So fan of him. He's a local lad. So shout out to him. But yeah, so right now you're learning with me. Like the only MMA fight I've ever been to, check it, Pounds. You was there. Check it, fans.
I was there.
We was there together. We was there.
Oh yeah.
Locked in. Do you remember?
Yeah. Of course I remember.
So you tell them what's my only MMA?
You tell them, bro. You tell them. Make the big announcement. It's your thing.
What is it? Bouncer and arms.
Yeah.
So that's as far as my MMA knowledge goes.
All right. Well, yeah. Now that we're going to be doing this, you're going to be getting to know more about MMA. So yeah, UFC this weekend. Yeah, it's. Let me break it down so you can kind of get the vibe of it. Yeah, it's Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. Yeah,
I've heard of
Volkanovski.
Islam. I've heard of
Islam is like the new Khabib. It's like Khabib's
He's
guy.
going off on Twitter and that.
Yeah. He's Khabib's guy. He's the lightweight champion of the world. Volkanovski is the featherweight champion of the world and ranked as the #1 pound for pound guy. Yeah,
pound for pound.
He's the pound for pound guy. Because
how
Leon.
comes he's not a bigger? So here's a question quickly before we get into it. How comes Volkanovski? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Volkanovski, Australian guy.
How comes he's not a bigger name?
I think because he was going under the radar. Because the previous featherweight champion Max Holloway was so popular, no one wanted to accept it. Every time Volkanovski beat him, it was like, "Nah, it's a bad decision. Nah, it's a bad." I think they fought 3 times now. Every time Volkanovski
held up, and then he's only really been exposed to Max Holloway and UFC. You know what I mean?
And he's beaten everyone else along the way. He's cleared out the division. Yeah, he's beaten everyone he should beat and beaten them well and beaten them handily. But I think the reason he's not a bigger name is one, because sometimes the lighter divisions don't get the shine, but also because people weren't feeling him. People didn't take to him because they loved the old champ so much. You know how it goes at times. So they didn't want to accept him. But the last time he fought the old champ, Max, because they fought 3 times, he pieced him up badly, brocked him up. So now he's fighting Islam, who's the lightweight champion. He's going up.
He's the guy right now, though. He seems to be.
Islam's the guy. Islam's the guy. He's going up to fight Islam. Islam starts grappling based. Volkanovski's like everything. He fights. His style's very mixed martial arts. He's got hands, kicks nice. He can wrestle. He can grapple. His jiu-jitsu is good, but he's short in stature. He's short and stocky in stature. He's a lot smaller height-wise than Islam, which I think will play a part into it, because even though Islam grappling, their style, that Dagestani style of grappling, is so dominant, I think it could play into it that the other guy's a lot shorter. There's a lot less to grab, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying to you, champ? So you should try and check that. No, you're definitely going to check that, because we're going to talk about it.
We might be watching it along. We might be.
Yeah. It's going to be 5:30 in the morning, champ. It's going to be 5:30 in the morning. We're not making promises that we're not keeping right now. Yeah. I don't think I'm staying up for that one.
I might be live on the boxing game. You know what I mean? I might be already.
Yeah. Talk to them about the boxing game, champ, before we come back to this, because we're not leaving it anymore.
This is a segment brought to you by Undisputed. Play the trailer. Don't play the trailer. Whatever. But this is right now. I'm in about a 6 day. I don't know how to describe it. Like, bro, I've been playing this game so much.
You've been banging out the game, bro. You've been banging out this game.
Right now, it's only on gaming computer. So only on PC. Undisputed. But when I say it's got the roster, Pounds has got the roster.
Yeah. Everyone's got it. I've seen it.
I'm talking about Tyson Fury.
Everyone.
So Joyce, we just mentioned. Joe Fraser. Some legends. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
What's
it going to be available on, champ? Xbox,
so right now, currently, if you've got Steam,
when it's out.
Okay, but right now, if you've got Steam, so if you've got it, you're gonna already know what it is. If you're just a PS5, Xbox, Donny, you're gonna have no idea what I just said there. If you've got Steam, if you've got a computer that can run it for £25 right now, you can download it. Undisputed on Steam. It's in the top sellers. It's fighting its way with FIFA 23, the new Hogwarts game that came out. With all the top players, it's up there, top 5, top 4, top 3 right now. So there's a big hype around this game. I'm one of the best fighters right now in the world. I'll be real Pound. One of the best. I'm talking in the game, not my character. I'm talking about me playing the game. I'm one of the guys online right now. I've been hitting the streams. We've been getting 100, 200, 300, 400, all the way up to 1,000 viewers. We've been killing it over there right now. So if you're on there, if that sounds like a good time, make sure you check it out.
Yeah, there you go. That advert was brought to you by Sonny Edwards, the champion of the world. Back to the UFC that's going on this weekend. Oh, when we're doing this now, next week we're gonna start bringing some odds into it and making some picks.
Yeah. I can be doing some background stuff here while you're talking. It's not.
Pull it up now. See what the odds are on that Volkanovski.
Can you still see me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can still see Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. Let's see what the odds are.
Islam.
Because Volkanovski is going to be an outsider. He's going to be the outsider.
I feel like I've seen Volkanovski on the UFC games.
Yeah, definitely he would have. He's the champ. He's been the champ for a minute as well. He's not just a new champ. He's been champ for a whole minute, at least a few years.
Yeah, so
and he's number one.
This might have to get a little bit of a cut down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Number one.
There's going to be a few things not hitting. So right now we've got a lot of odds. I don't know how to share my screen, but I don't even want to give him the clout.
Just read out what you can see. What's the odds on what they say Volkanovski? What's the odds on Volkanovski?
So right now, the pound for pound featherweight, pound for pound number one, arguably, as you told me, as I've learned from you, pound. Alexander Volkanovski,
outsider,
3-1 underdog with Bet365, a 3-1 underdog with Sky Bet. Doesn't get much better than that for him, really, across the board. A 3-1 underdog, they're looking at him. If you're fancying Makhachev for the decision, you can get a 1-4 on favourite.
What, that 3-1 on Volkanovski, is that for decision?
This is any method, I believe. I feel like I've just pulled it up on. Wait, hold on, maybe not. One sec. Win market 17-5. This is on the average popular market. Volkanovski 17-5 on the win, and Islam Makhachev 5-19 on the win.
It would be. Islam's a heavy favorite, but you can't write off the number one pound for pound guy. I'd have a cheeky punt. I'd have a cheeky little bit on.
Okay. I got a question for you, Mr. MMA expert. You know what I mean?
Don't give me the expert thing.
You're at a fiver right now. You're at a fiver right now. You're excited for the fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Makhachev, Volkanovski, but you don't know who you really even want to win. It's one of them. They're just good fighters. You just want to.
No, it's one of them ones. Yeah, it's one of them.
Because that's what it sounds like. If I was a boxer, I'm trying to ping featherweight world champion and that. It sounds like the fight. So if you had a fiver right now, pounds, where are you putting it? Are you covering something safe, just a decision, or?
No, that's a fiver, bro. That's a fiver. I'm putting out Volkanovski all day long.
Just straight Volkanovski, no knockout, no points. Like, is any more?
I'm going
submission, tap.
I'm going Volkan. No, he ain't tapping him. I'm going Volkanovski by decision. If I'm putting a fiver down, just
Volkanovski by decision, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's more worth it. It's more worth my while. It's a fiver, isn't it? Cheeky fiver.
It's definitely a fiver. So Volkanovski by decision.
Yeah.
Let me try and get method of victory. Volkanovski by KO. Volkanovski by decision or technical decision. 13-2 pounds.
There you go.
We can get for that right now.
5-1 there, lads.
6.5. You know what I mean? So that little fiver, do a right, get your little 30s and some change.
Yeah, get your little 30 and change. That's what I'd be putting it, just for the sake of it. But if you said to me, if I've got to put,
you've got to put quids down, pounds. What about that?
Quids down, we're gonna have to go with a safe bet.
What's that? No bet at all. What's that? No bet at all.
The safest bet is no bet at all. But if it was to fucking just to bet for the sake of who the safe money's on, then you're gonna go Islam, because
that's what I'm gonna say. I'll be real. I've heard more of Islam.
Islam's an animal still. But the hardest fight he had, I can't remember the guy he fought, was a short, stocky guy like Volkanovski. Is a short, stocky guy. He had problems. Say again.
And it caused them issues.
Yeah, it caused them issues getting underneath him for the grappling, but. We'll see. And Volkanovski is very good, bro. He's a man that's always underrated, and he obviously feels something within himself to give him the confidence to say, "I'm going after you. You're the weight up, and I'm coming after you." But it's one of them fights. It's one that I would lean towards Islam. But if you said,
what about anything outside quickly to wrap up before people start pulling our hair out? Is there any weight issues? Is there any big for the weight? Because obviously Volkanovski is coming up, so the weight shouldn't be an issue for him.
Volkanovski will make weight easy. They both make weight, but the power and size advantage will massively be in Islam's favor, because he's going to be boiling down from who knows, like 195.
And rehydrating to
they're rehydrating back to a madness. And he's not a little bit taller. He's a good bit taller as well. So all that will come into it, but we'll see. I'm just going to enjoy the fight, you know. That's one for you, innit? That's the first one. We're going to talk about this next week.
That's my first. We're gonna speak about it next week.
We're going to speak on it fully next week. We're going to speak on that. All right, let's start.
You know what? I'm glad you brought me with a fight, because now I've got a fight for you, pound.
Talk to me.
I've got a fight for you that's happening. I want to double check, yeah. But for I'm sure it's on the 11th.
While you're looking at that, ain't Dan Aziz fighting as well this week as well for something? I can't remember. I think I saw.
I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that one. I'll be
I
real.
think Dan Aziz has got a fight coming up. Give him a shout out still. He fought one of my people. Then he fought Andre Sterling, one of my people. He won against him, and he's been doing well ever since. So give him a shout out still, Dan Aziz. But yeah, so who are you telling me to watch now, champ?
So this weekend, 11th of February, we have Usyk Foster, someone that boxed in Dubai when I boxed. I think he boxed the night before. Yeah, I'm sure he did. He boxed the night before I boxed. There's two cards on 2 separate nights. And yeah, we chopped it up after. We celebrated together, and he's a very, very good fighter. Like,
who's he fighting?
He's fighting Ray Vargas. People might be a bit more familiar with Ray Vargas.
Ray Vargas I'm more familiar with. What's the odds on that? What can I make some money on that? Will you give me? Is that wait?
I'm just getting up the odds now. That's what I'm doing. I think it's a little bit harder. I found him now. Ray Vargas odds checker. Oh, okay. I was hoping that Ray Vargas, being a bigger name, would have got more value for Usyk Foster. I was hoping this was that one, because I'll be real. Usyk Foster, he fought on, like I said, the same card that I fought on the day before, and he fought at hard. I think at Uzbekistani. I'm trying to get up his box rate just so I don't get anything wrong. He fought a good Uzbekistani fighter in Yakubov. No, not Uzbekistan. That's a lie. Sorry. Correct myself. A Tajikistan, and lives in Russia. Muhammad Kuja Yakubov. I'm not going to try to pronounce it again. But Usyk Foster fighting for the WBC silver super featherweight. Put Yakubov down in the round 12 in the process. Won a very wide, pretty much shutout decision, but I was very impressed with the performance. When you're looking at fighters that come to the edge of range, land a nice scoring shot, and then if their opponent gives them anything to go off, they adjust, they throw nice sharp hands, hurtful, spiteful punches. Like Usyk Foster, he really impressed me. And for me, he had world champion written all over him as soon as I seen him perform. He has got a couple of losses. But I know he has had a few things going on in the background. I think that has kept him a bit less consistently in the ring that he wanted to be. He got a few losses early on to Rolando Chinia and Samuel Taya in 2015 and 16. But like I said, very, very impressed with him last time out. Ray Vargas is 36-0 though. So I was, if I'm honest, expecting this to be a 4, 5, 6 to 1 underdog, 36-0, well-known Ray Vargas versus the relatively more unknown Usyk Foster with 2 defeats on his record, a lot less fights, let alone wins. So it's interesting that they valued Usyk Foster that high. They
saw what you saw. They saw what you saw. People can see what you saw. Because them odds makers, they know what they're doing. They saw what you saw.
Yeah, but normally you see these ones coming from a mile off. Like normally, as soon as that fight's made, the 2 defeats, okay, everyone. A lot of people don't look past box rate. They want to have an interest in the sport and have a bet on whatever they want to do, or just even pick a winner. But they don't want to look past going just into box rec and seeing, he's lost twice. That was at that level. Or he lost to him. That's it. They don't even go and look at the fight. So I thought maybe Ray Vargas would be heavily favoured in that fight. He's not. Disappointing him, but even then, I would go for Usyk Foster.
There you go. That's a tip from the champ, Usyk Foster.
Genuinely, and I think go and have a look at him, Pounds.
I'm gonna look now. As soon as we come off this, I'm gonna go and have a look, do my research. So that's the fact. What channel's that on? Because I've given you a fight to watch. You've given me to watch. What channel is it?
I'm gonna get it up right now. I don't know
I'll get a stream for that.
PBC. I think it's on PBC. So for us UK fight fans, it's live on Show Championship Boxing. Let me see if there's any UK. Let me see if there's any UK stream. Usyk Foster Vargas UK TV. I'm not sure if I can find it right now.
You'll find it. People, do your research. Watch that fight. Watch the
Box
UFC.
Live isn't always the most reliable. Where can I watch? I don't know. It's not always.
Don't watch that.
Right now, it's just looking like it's on Showtime. It don't look like
Watch it
anyone.
on YouTube the next morning. In the meantime, but I'm gonna find. I'll watch it. I'll find the stream and watch it. I've got.
I mean, allegedly, Pounds might,
Allegedly.
stumble across a video
Allegedly.
somewhere, but we don't condone them things there.
Allegedly. That's why I said I've got
We're
news.
not trying to get, cancelled on the pilot.
Yeah. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Like that. But yeah, that honestly, I think that'd be a good fight. Ray
Yeah, that's
Vargas.
gonna be a fight.
And
You got to take that in as well. And I think there's a couple other fights on the UFC card as well. I can't think off the top of my head. There's a couple other. I think it might be an interim fight for the featherweight title as well. But yeah, take it in, get involved, watch some fights, Sonny. Because we're talking about it every week. But yeah, let's start wrapping up now. We've been on it for a minute. It's been a good little pilot. We'll call this a pilot, but we'll put it out to the people them same way.
We'll call it the pilot. We'll let them. I can't lie. I think I get distracted a little bit. So sometimes we might comfort and it might end up speaking about.
It's gonna go all over the place. But make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you comment. Let us know if you want more of this content. You're getting it anyway, but so just let us know. You're getting it anyway if you want it or not.
We've signed big lucrative contracts. 1,000 episodes, bro. 1,000 episodes.
We're in for a dozen. We no matter what. So subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have all sorts. We're gonna have some competitions. We're gonna have lots of stuff going on. But yeah, it's Pound Sterling, the hustler, and the champion of the world, undefeated, pound for pound, Sonny Edwards. What are you saying to the champ before we lock off?
That's it. I enjoyed it. I think. Well, do you know what it is? Just to quickly leave on my little byline. We have these talks. What, once a week?
Like this offline. This is how we chat offline. So we might as well bring it to the masses.
You know what I mean? So we might as well bring it. There's been a lot of people asking. I've been getting asked for years about the whole the podcast thing. Like I said, I've got a few more other things. I've got the Twitch streaming going right now. If that's your bag, then get me up on there. So where are they gonna find it? Where are they gonna find all this? Are we still working?
It'll be on the page. It's gonna be on the page. Winners Talking Podcast is the main thing on the page at the moment, but the whole page name is probably going to change to an overall banner just for entertainment purposes. But make sure you subscribe. There's so much content that's going to be going on here. But Pounds and Punches is going to be a regular thing. And Sonny chose the name, by the way. Man, we're trying to.
I don't know if I did. I think it.
This guy.
I think it chose itself, bro.
Okay, it chose itself. I definitely didn't choose it.
Punches,
I fuck with it. I fuck with it, though.
People be saying right now that I am boxing, so.
Yeah, you are boxing, bro.
He's saying that right now, so.
Mr. Boxing. Pounds and Punches right now. Yeah, we're done.